Hello, and welcome to Charts and Hearts. I'm Sarah, and she's Lindsay.
And together we're working our way through an epic list of rom-coms in order to find and categorize tropes in the hopes of creating the nerdiest spreadsheet podcasts I've ever seen.
Today, we are talking about You've Got Mail. So yeah, You've Got Mail, the 1998 email-based classic with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan and so many books. Mail. And yeah, and they send emails and are problematic. Well, one of them is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've Got Mail. Yeah, I think I said 1998. It is very great. It's very seasonally appropriate. I think this movie is why we picked Tom and Meg for September, because like the whole beginning is like
just
crisp fall. Yeah, there's that cranberry song, which is just like, oh, this is why I think of this song and crisp fall mornings.
Yep. It's true.
Yep.
Probably because every time I've been with you for the last 15 years, I've just put that on when I've had a crisp fall morning, and it's just, it's in there now.
This movie plus subliminally reinforced by Lindsay. Yeah.
So You've Got Mail is a remake of the 1940 film The Shop Around the Corner, starring James Stewart and Margaret Sullivan. And there's also an incarnation called In the Good Old Summertime, which they say incarnation. I don't know if that's a film or but it's not linked on IMDb, which is weird.
Like an incarnation of
She
the same
Loves
storyline.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, She Loves Me, which is a stage adaptation, which reverts the action back to a parfumery, which is the setting of the original Hungarian source play. So it was a play, then it was a movie, then it was maybe another movie, and then it was a play again.
Right.
And now it's a movie in 1998. And also probably, I'm going to guess, 75 Hallmark movies have this theme in them.
So many fan fiction alternate universe stories.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So many.
Just watching that had You've Got Mail aspects in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. And also an episode of sort of like a flip on it is there's an episode of Star Trek Voyager, a very weird one. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, the Millennium Gate one. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, people know. If they know, they know. Yeah, and then who knew Dave Chappelle was an actor? Wow.
I know, it's weird.
Yeah.
According to the trivia, he tried out to play Bubba Gump and didn't get it, but Tom Hanks really liked him and said that he could be in another movie with him, and that's how that happened. Which makes more sense. Like it's just he's very good in the role.
Oh,
It's just so random.
Yeah, but I guess, you're looking for work and looking to, like, meet people and get seen by audiences and stuff, I guess. I don't know. The whole, like, supporting cast, like, Parker Posey, Greg Kinnear, everybody's so good in this. Cezanne. Yeah.
What's her face from Miss Congeniality?
Yeah.
Perfect Date, April 26th girl.
Yeah, that girl.
You know.
Yeah. Oh, and what's her face? The daughter from ER.
Yep.
Plays his aunt. Yeah. The little kid aunt. Yeah.
And Sarah Ramirez just showing up, first role ever.
Really? I missed that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's Happy Thanksgiving back.
Oh yeah. Huh,
yeah,
cool. I like her.
First role about to go into huge things.
Indeed.
Shortly thereafter.
Yeah, a couple more years. Who knew? Yeah. So, I mean, we're not going to recap this movie. Like, everybody knows the plot of this movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was it was interesting to have, like, sort of at the beginning of the whole, like, big box store, big bookstore situation. And now, like, post Amazon being crazy, post, like, online shopping revolution, like multiple of them, like the first one, e-commerce, and then like the COVID online shopping, like it's so different now. Like, yeah, there used to be, so in the States, I know there's Barnes and Noble and there's probably some other ones. And then
but Borders.
Oh yeah,
closed.
Borders. Yeah, Borders closed. And there's ones in like Australia and like Waterstones and all kinds of ones. And then in Canada we have Indigo Chapters. I don't really understand what the difference is between Indigo and Chapters.
I feel like Chapters was a bookstore and Indigo is a more of a lifestyle brand that bought Chapters.
I don't know.
We didn't have scarves and mugs and pillows and candles at Chapters, like maybe some candles, but we didn't have that stuff until Indigo came in.
Yeah, but we never had like just Indigo stores. So yeah, we had Chapters, and then Chapters got bought by Indigo, and now it's like Indigo Chapters or just Indigo.
Yeah, which is also weird because like the Indigo we go to is Indigo, but the Chapters in Calgary is still called Chapters, but it's in Indigo, so I don't know.
Yeah, but basically like it's books. It's like maybe 30% books in terms of like, maybe it's like space wise it's more. It's like 60% books, 40% everything else. But in terms of like what they're marketing to you, it's not books. Like
no, it's not, and I'm fine with it. I was looking at this Fox Books and thinking about if it had gotten an Indigo rebrand, and like there's so many places in this place that you could like think of all the blankets that they could sell.
Exactly.
There.
Yeah.
And the pillows.
Yeah.
I'm just like looking around my house and looking at all of the things that are from Indigo.
Yeah.
Just everywhere around me.
Yeah. Partly because it's like no books down the street. Yeah.
It's where we buy all our Christmas presents.
Basically. Yeah. But then like all this like this sort of past year I've been hearing a lot of stuff from like some of the smaller authors I follow on Twitter, that basically Barnes and Noble has been like completely like manipulating the publishing industry as well, and also kind of screwing themselves over from actually like having customers. It's like they're not really interested in having actual customers. They just are like wanting to influence the publishing industry, because basically like they were doing things like not pre-ordering or not ordering any books by authors unless people were already ordering them. So like if an author had a book coming out, they wouldn't order that book unless enough people pre-ordered it at that like to a specific store, because it was up to like each store. But then like how are people supposed to find out about books?
I know, and that's the thing. Weird. I'm like, of course it's hard. Like Amazon exists,
but that's like
but it's just like if you're gonna be a store, you have to take the risk of buying books.
If you're gonna like be a bookstore, like have books for people to look at. That's not just like John Grisham or whatever the new incarnation of John Grisham is, right? Like be more than just an airport bookstore. So I'm not surprised that they're doing poorly. And also I think the little bookstores like that did make it through that sort of first wave have actually done a lot better, because they found a way to like with online ordering and social media, like find audiences, and like find a niche that's not going to whatever the big box store is, at least in like certain neighborhoods and for like maybe certain kinds of books. So because like I wouldn't trust anybody at Indigo to like recommend a book to me, right? Like whereas like it's been around for at least 30 years, if probably more than that. There's a kids bookstore that has a couple locations here. It's called Vancouver Kids Books, and like the people that they get that work there are amazing. And like if you just are like, hey, my kid or my niece or whatever really liked these books, what can I get her, like what's the next level up or whatever, like their staff is really awesome. So it's possible. It just we'll talk about her business closing in this. But yeah, just the scenery and the like atmosphere of like being in New York in the crisp fall is the main reason I love this movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So the sweaters at the fall festival, like that's kind of thing of like, why do I never experience that? We've had a couple of closed ones during Apple Fest.
Yeah, the UBC like
not raining.
UBC Apple Fest, the first one we went to, not the one where we were literally like wringing out our clothing. That one, or I don't know, just like maybe not specific festivals, but just like going over, like walking like a unusual part of the city that we don't usually go to in the fall. That kind of thing. Actually
leaf peeping.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So, but like the whole little cart spinny ride and the face painting and stuff. I'm sure there's neighborhoods and stuff that have things, but we just don't go to them.
And I think like it's really hard here.
Yeah, because the rain.
You don't know what you're gonna get if it's gonna rain, like fall is ruined. Like not just the day that your festival is, but the leaves are useless.
Yeah, they're gone, and they start smelling real soon.
Real bad. So it depends. We definitely have had some really good ones. I think like it's one of those things of 2020. We had a great long cherry blossom spring, and then a really nice fall. It was like, sorry, here's some nice weather. Was kind of how it went.
So Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, I don't even remember their character names, Joe Fox and Kathleen Kelly. So they have met in like a AOL forum, and for people over 30, even though they're both in relationships, why are you going on a dating forum if you're in a relationship?
Well, it was a over 30 forum. I don't know if that was
it was just like
supposed to be
just for dating or just for people who are over 30. It's unclear.
Yeah, I was gonna look up how old she was because she's like, I went in as a joke. And I'm like,
I think she went in like because she was freshly 30. I think that was the vibe I got from it. So they've met online but never in person, and like aren't really sharing any like actual identifying information, although I think she knows that he's in New York. I don't know if he knows that she's in New York. It's unclear. I mean, he figures it out eventually.
Because she was on the subway with the butterfly, got off to buy a hat.
Oh, yeah. Eventually.
All hats are.
Yeah, eventually they do.
So she was born in 1961, so she was 37.
Oh, okay.
In this. So I don't know if they're playing her younger.
Maybe.
Which I don't think so, because she would have to have the bookstore for a long time. But anyway. Or if she was just feeling old. I don't know.
Yeah, or just like decided to, maybe the whole like going on the whole forums in general was the joke, right? Like maybe she'd just been using internet for like, I don't know, emails and stuff, and then yeah,
maybe. So do you like, what were chat rooms like?
I didn't really use chat rooms like that. I remember using, because like I would have been still kind of young, and I remember using, it was more like bulletin boards, so like you'd be maybe on a website or on it was more bulletin board rather than chat room. So it would be like I'm trying to think, I don't really have any like super strong recollections of much of it, mostly because like for a lot of the time of like the early internet, I was like of that age where you were getting told not to talk to strangers on the internet. So and also I just like don't have a good memory of stuff.
That's fair. It's just one of those things of like, she wandered into this chat room, and then they started talking about New York, and I'm like, how? I just like it's even as a geriatric millennial, this is a piece of information that I'm missing. Yeah, but that's fine. You don't have to explain it. We'll find a Gen X somewhere, and they can tell us what happened. We need John Green.
I remember more like like bulletin boards where there was like threads about like, so you'd be like, it wasn't just a single room, it would be like a bunch of a message board, sorry, not a bulletin board, a message board, and then there would be like different threads about stuff. So like I remember being on one about like Star Trek, and then there'd be like a thread about like different episodes and spoilers and blah blah blah. Yeah.
Okay.
But so not really chat room, because I don't remember there being like live chatting. Not until like ICQ. And then ICQ MSN. I only used with like people I already knew. I wasn't like meeting random people on ICQ and MSN. It was just like, instead of how I would text or whatever now. Okay, so so they meet, and then she's like worried about her store going out of business when the big bookstore opens, but then she like doesn't do anything to like improve her business. Like she does the sort of PR piece with her journalist boyfriend, which is a good idea, but then like she has like 4 full-time staff plus herself. Is that right? No, 3 full-time staff plus herself.
3 full-time, plus herself.
And she's like giving out brand new cloth bags with every order for free. She could have like had like less hours, or like, do you need 4
like, and that's the thing in your notes is that she doesn't do anything to cut costs on her end. Like she does this PR thing, which also like I didn't really realize until this time was during Christmas. Like it was in between Thanksgiving and Christmas when she's doing this PR thing. And, like, if this PR thing plus Christmas doesn't improve your sales, then it's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Christmas and it's children's books. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like,
especially when they like she knows that the other store has like not good sales staff for Christmas books. Like, are they literally like having people in the store telling them about books and then they go across the street and buy them? Because like that is not shown
exactly.
But you know, I'm sure people did
so,
it. But like moving to a different location where people aren't using your store as a resource, laying off some employees or having reduced hours. Yeah, and then it seems like it fails so fast because she, by the time there's cherry blossom, so like April, she's been she's had the store closed for ages by then.
Yeah, I think it closes like I would guess like end of February. Is my guess. Like it was the end of winter.
Yeah.
So it took like 3-4 months, which seems like really extreme. Like that's like you don't even know 4 months at a big bookstore. Like that could definitely be a blip, right? Of like this is all new. Let's wait until people get used to it and pick what they like. Like
rather than like they're just
really
going
big
to the
decision to make
so quickly.
Within a quarter, and one of those parts of that quarter is Christmas.
Yeah, and also it's not like like I could see, you know, like you can run out of money really fast, but like she didn't get a job. Like she just decided to write children's books.
Yeah, she said she had a bit of savings, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't talk about if she owns her apartment or not. I don't know how she would own her apartment unless it was also her mom's. Yeah,
exactly. Or, you know, and like maybe she sold not so much the business, like she would have sold off her inventory, but like if she'd sold, say, the lease on the store, maybe that helped with some money. I don't know how New York commercial real estate works.
Me either. But yeah, like it's just extreme. Like when the store is completely empty, all 4 of them are working.
Yeah.
Like why?
Some of that might have been that like they were just there to like be supportive at the end, but yeah, it was super weird. And then what else? So then around then is when she starts meeting with Joe as Joe, but he has found out that she is Shop Girl.
Mm-hmm. So before they met, and they were antagonistic to each other. Mm-hmm. One was too proud, and the other was too prejudiced.
Yes, indeed. Basically. And like, and he, you know, and he calls himself out on it of like, you know, when I'm nervous, I sort of like overcompensate by kind of being an asshole, basically. And I was like, yes, you do. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know. And like they keep almost running into each other or actually running into each other as even though they hate each other or like they say they hate each other.
Well, they're all in the book world.
Exactly. And then the same neighborhood, right? So they like almost see each other at the grocery store and everywhere. So but as soon as like he starts trying to lay the ground for her to like him as both him and his online persona, it's just like cringy.
It's hard because it's both swoony and cringy. So there's so many parts of it where like when he's comes to her house and he like leans forward to make her stop talking and you're just like, ooh, Tom Hanks. And when they're being so charming with the 152
what that means.
People who think he looks like a Clark bar, like all of that stuff is really fun and hilarious and charming, but there's so many things that I'm like, I don't know, like, are you gaslighting her? Are you just lying and being a really creepy? Like, it's a huge lie. Obviously, it's not a live omission.
No.
Anymore. Because he's...
like, when he...
asking her things or saying things that...
and, like, getting her to talk about him. That he doesn't know, that she doesn't know that it's him. It's not that big of a deal that he, like, you know, like, the scene in the coffee shop that he doesn't identify himself. Like, I mean, it's not great, but it's not that bad. But then when it continues for so long and then he's like he's really charming her as himself, and that, like, you know, you can see that they're falling for each other as themselves, but he still doesn't, like, isn't honest with her. It's like, ooh. Yeah. But then also, if he had been honest with her, the movie would end, because there's no happily ever after.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, the line at the end when she's like, I wanted it to be you, like, kind of helps, but, like...
I think it's similar. I wanted it to, like, that line is similar to the ending. Like, both of these movies are kind of similar. The endings are so good. Sleepless in Seattle and this is that they're so good, and she, like, tries to make it, like, that line helps a bit, but again, like, you play to the end of the tape and you're like, even if you have that thought, I wanted it to be you, and then you're like, take a step back and, like, be like, replay the interactions over the last months, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, but, like, where's your spine? Why aren't you mad at him? Like, you can...
Yeah, and, like...
Yeah, or, like...
How long did you know? And
yeah, how did you find out?
Why you made my store go out of business? Yeah. And, like, how long have you been doing this? Did you give me bad advice when you told me to go to the mattresses? Like, all of that stuff. Like, everything that she's ever told him online would be questioned.
He didn't know who she was when he told her to go to the mattresses. Yeah. So,
I know.
But still. Yeah. No, it's just real bad. Okay. Shall we summarize some tropes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mistaken identities and big freaking secrets. Yep.
Big secrets. So we have the nice, boring boyfriend.
Yes.
Who's so boring. And, like, she doesn't love him.
No.
Ever at all. It's weird that they're together. Although he's hilarious and amazing, and I love him.
Yeah, exactly.
Greg Kinnear for life. So I'm fine with it. And then the girlfriend who's so bad that you're like, why are you together?
I think, like, they're together, it's really like they're, like, dating out of convenience, because they're, like, both in the sort of publishing book industry, and, like, he's rich and she's important in that, like, you know, an important editor or whatever. So
like, power dating.
Yeah, basically. And then it feels kind of like a flip of, like, the standard sort of boring rom-com where it's like the girl's with an evil businessman kind of guy and then makes a really quirky guy, but in this one she's with a quirky, I mean, he's boring as all get out, but he's quirky because he's, like, obsessed with typewriters and weird history, and, you know, like, if he was, you know, if he was the charming one instead of the evil businessman, that, like, it would be the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
And then, like, the whole, like, enemies to lovers. Yeah.
Tom and Meg tropes of amazing soundtracks.
Yes, amazing soundtrack.
Really good endings after one of the characters is a little bit sketch.
Oh, and then also it's, like, the same weird, like, computer generated opening credits.
Oh, map thing.
Like, in this one it was like the, you know, sort of zooming in on a, like, computer generated map of New York. And until you're at, like, street level. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oof.
Into it. And Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yes.
Is in both as well.
And the same mix of, like, current songs and, like, old school songs. Yeah. To give it that sort of, like, classic, timeless kind of vibe. Bechdel test.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. She talks about her own work. She's got her own life outside of who she's dating. Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, until, like, the plot actually starts, there isn't actually a problem with her talking, aside from the fact that she has a boyfriend. But, like, talking to him over email, like, isn't really an issue. No. Like, she's got her life, and it's not taking over her life, and she's not changing herself for a man. Like, she never actually changes herself for a man.
No, not at all.
So, he changes.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Or matures.
Or like, stops pretending to be somebody who's not, like, to be like his dad. Yeah. Do you have a hot take?
Yeah, well, I think it's similar, like, what we were talking about, like, I don't know, I think it's just manipulation. I don't know if there's an actual term, like, gaslighting.
It's not really gaslighting, it's
not really, but it's the cousin of gaslighting.
Yeah, it's just, like, manipulative lying. Yeah. And, like, misrepresenting.
But my real hot take is that I like it better than Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, yeah, same. Same, because they actually spend time together.
They spend time together, and they're so charming.
Yeah, and they have more in common.
And,
yeah.
And even though I love them both.
Yeah, I like this one more. Yep. Oh, good one to save for the end. Okay, let's build a pie. But it's apple pie because it's fall.
It's fall, and we got so many slices.
Yeah, or a pumpkin pie. That's easy to cut into small pieces.
It's true.
Okay. Like vintage retro 90s technology.
Oh my
god. I mean, if it wasn't sort of a storyline set in the world of like email and chat rooms, I would say like 5%, but it's a lot of the plot is like delivered through like reading of emails and text. So.
Reading of emails, and there's other good stuff too. Like there's some cell phones. There's I'm trying to remember what else there was. Just like the VCRs. I think it mainly is them like using email and AOL, but then also around is like the really big computers.
Yeah.
The monitors that are so big.
Her giant. She has a laptop in bed, and it's giant. It's like
it's so big.
Yeah, it's like 6 inches tall. Yeah.
And like I keep watching her in that scene. Like she's like both of them are in their bed with their laptops on. I'm like, those things are gonna overheat, and you're gonna lose everything.
Your legs. Oh god. Yep. So maybe like 40%. Is that too high?
Yeah. No, I think it's good because it's obviously important to the plot. Like even dial-up is important to the beginning of the plot. I turn on my computer. I anxiously wait for it to dial up. Like, there's a lot of arguments about making this kind of movie now, and like you could definitely do it with avatars and stuff, but the part where the anticipation part,
the anticipation, and also like not having mobile internet is it like you'd have to rewrite a lot of the stuff to get around that. Okay, Starbucks being new and cool and a huge part of your personality, and it's like, oh yeah, it's so true.
It's so huge, and like the whole thing of it being a thing of like making a choice in your life and it being a huge craze and all that stuff.
Maybe like 5%.
Yeah, I think so. Somebody saw it called out in the credits, but the whole monologue when he's talking about Starbucks, she orders a tall macchiato, something like that, and it's in a grande cup. Like, and also like the way that the people are flowing, like they're like talking to the barista at the espresso bar, and then they get their coffee and they don't. Yeah,
not sure where they pay for it. Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah, it's really weird, and also like incredibly fast. Yeah. Like I've never made a macchiato in that amount.
No, it was like 5 seconds
when there's a line that long.
Yeah. Tom Hanks playing another Joe.
I know. He's
very charming. Yeah, he's very charming, but he also like plays a believable asshole. But you still like,
and that's what it
unwillingly charmed by him. It's really annoying.
That's definitely why they have the children in there.
Yes, to lighten the
asshole. He's an asshole, and then he like hangs out with his brother and aunt, and you're just like, he's like in the train and like pretending to do the strongman thing, and you're just like, oh my god, Tom Hanks, you're so charming.
His dog, ugh, I just want to snuggle that dog. He's so cute. I know. Like 30. Yeah, that seems about right. Oh, we haven't talked about all the Godfather references.
No, we have not. Have you seen The Godfather?
Do I want to watch The Godfather? No.
Me either. Nope.
Do I have any interest in The Godfather or people who talk at me about The Godfather? Because it's not
about The Godfather.
They're never talking to me about The Godfather. It's at.
No, of course. No, the only good experiences I've had with The Godfather is this and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where they're trying to tell Captain Holt about somebody being the Fredo, and Charles keeps calling everybody in relation to Diane Keaton's character, just like Diane Keaton's husband, Diane Keaton's brother-in-law, Diane Keaton's other brother-in-law. And Captain Holt's like, this is helping, thank you.
Adorable. Maybe like 10%? Is that too much?
Yeah, I think that's good. No, it's a big part of like
it's a huge amount of the plot of the movie,
as well as and the joke with Frank is incredible.
Yes,
so,
that's true.
When she's
so true. And then finally we have Meg Ryan wearing awesome sweater sets and so many beige clothes. And just like she's with Joe at the end wearing like horrible khakis, like the giant khakis. Yeah,
they're so big and they're pleated, and it's like Joshua Lyman, but like more.
Yeah, they did look really comfy though.
They're like high waist. Yeah. And then she's got a sweater set that's like maybe pale blue, and then she goes inside to change to meet like the guy, and she's wearing a beige dress sweater set.
No, she's wearing like a beige linen dress that's really nice. It's a beautiful dress, and then like a linen.
It's really nice,
or like a mohair, or like alpaca or something blue like cardigan. Yeah,
that like matches.
Yeah, it's like
and she has
no color.
No color, and she has no purse or keys.
Right. Yeah, I'm like.
So so she like changes from one sweater set into another one, basically.
So I think we have
her fancier one.
85.
I think it's 15%.
Yeah, that seems about fair.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have put more things in the pie, but this seems like a good mix of a pie.
Well, yeah, I had some other things like this movie has amazing gifs, mainly of Tom Hanks typing, and Parker Posey is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
The elevator scene is amazing.
Actually, I feel like if we change Starbucks to coffee, I feel like we should give that 10%.
Mm-hmm.
And then Meg Ryan's, like the sweater sets and stuff, 10%. Yes, I think that's good. Okay, so 90s technology, 40%. Charming Tom Hanks, 30%. Charming asshole Tom Hanks, also 30%. And then 10% each for Starbucks and all the coffee, The Godfather, and sweater sets / beige linen clothing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there's just so much of this movie is in my life.
Yes.
Like I just walked past the nut store on my way to the bank the other day, and I was like, "This place is a tomb. I'm going to the nut shop where it's fun."
Oh, so cute. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we think that they would stay together?
I don't know. I feel better about them in this than I do in Sleepless.
Yes.
Because at least she knows. Like, she knows right away.
Yeah.
There's no more secrets afterwards, and they were friends. Yeah. So she can forgive him for this giant lie.
Yeah, if he can...
And also for putting her out of business.
Yeah. Yeah, like, if he can explain the lie and, like, recover from that, and then, I mean... she seemed to be really happy, and I think she would be a really amazing, like, children's book editor. Honestly, I was like, she's trying to be both a business and a library. Like, I mean, you don't make any money as a librarian, but, like, she'd be an amazing children's librarian.
It's true.
So, I think, I don't know, I have hopes.
Yeah, me too. I was just going to say, similarly to the characters that at least this version are also loosely based on, once he explained himself, Elizabeth forgave Mr. Darcy.
It's true.
So,
yeah.
So if he's got a decent enough explanation.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a hard one, though, because he was, like, so blatantly lying. It wasn't like... It wasn't like, oh, I'll wait until it comes up. But then, like, they talked for weeks, it seemed like, about, like, her talking to him and her asking her online friend. Yeah,
like there's so much of him asking her about what she thinks about him.
Yeah, that's the part that is really icky.
And both ways a little bit too.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Okay, what do we have next?
We have really weird months of kind of Europe, but also a surprise schedule change.
Indeed. So our next movie on this feed will be we'll be talking about Call Me by Your Name, which I've seen and really enjoyed, and I don't think Lindsay's seen, so will be interesting.
But you haven't seen Under the Tuscan
I have not, which will be our one at the end of the month. Yeah.
Just in time for Halloween. Nothing says Halloween like
Indeed.
But we do have a super exciting episode for the Patreon in October. We are doing the new Hallmark movie, A Splash of Love, which is about an orca researcher who falls in love with another orca.
We don't really know.
I haven't watched it yet.
We'll find out.
Maybe a grad student who falls in love with a naturalist? I don't know. But there are orcas, and from what I've seen, they're not good orcas.
Yeah, or like bad science, orcas, and some beautiful scenery is what I've got so far.
And romance,
obviously.
What more could we want? We might have a special guest. We will have a special guest. We might do 1 or 2 or 3 different podcasts within this podcast episode. It's a perfect time for you to join us on Patreon at patreon.com/chartsandheartsclub. We have this month we did Joe versus the Volcano, which was like the least problematic out of these 3 movies,
pretty much.
which is
weird. Or like it was problematic, but not in terms of the romance storyline.
The relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
It had other problems.
Yes.
So yeah, there was much less, lying and stalking. Yep. Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of our episode. Don't forget that you can rate or review us wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us on social media at Charts and Hearts Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and at Charts and Hearts on Twitter. Or you can head to our website, chartsandhearts.com, where you can send us your suggestions for rom-coms to add to the list.
Yeah, and in the meantime, let us know your thoughts on this movie and Tom and Meg, and which one you think is the best between Sleepless and You've Got Mail. We know that Joe is an outlier.
It's an outlier. It's both
we're okay
worse and better. It's
I
like
don't know.
comparing apples and marshmallows. Yeah.
Yeah. So let us know your thoughts on these 2, and if you want sharpened pencil bouquets merch. And in the meantime, we don't have an outro, but happy fall. Hooray!
We should go leaf peeping and write an outro.
Yes, we should.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.